Assalamualaikum and good evening, everyone. So welcome to CaraBetul, Say It As It Is, episode yang ke-14. Yeah. So this is our 14th episode. So welcome to all our regular viewers. Yeah, so if you can see today, hari ni kita akan ada a little bit of a difference di mana we will have a discussion on a popular topic, yeah. Which is, does age matter in starting a business? This is a topic that we are going to be discussing on, yeah. So in any Malaysian social event kan, kita boleh guna English ke Melayu ke, whatever that we are comfortable in. So here we have our panelist for today. Kita ada saudara Zufar Adzahan daripada Khan Acoustics. He's a co-founder and a co-owner of Khan Acoustics, and I'm sure everybody knows him because he is our host in our Say It As It Is punya episodes, yeah. And we also have Puan Safura Atan, yeah, who is our friend who is going to be part of the panelist today, dan juga saudara Firdaus Johari. Yeah, of course, Pak Razak is also here, who will be joining us and giving his 2 cents worth of this topic lah. Yeah. So sebelum kita mulakan perbincangan ni, just let's have a little brief introduction with our Puan Safura dan juga Firdaus, Cik Firdaus, untuk kita berkenalan sikit. Supaya kita tahulah sedikit sebanyak tentang Safura dan juga Firdaus. Just a little bit about your business, you know, what are you doing and that kind of thing. A quick one, Puan Safura, silakan.
Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening everybody. I'm Safura Atan. I'm the co-founder and alchemist of StratNaviGo Consulting Private Limited. We do business coaching, training and facilitation, not only for small businesses, SMEs, but also with MNCs. So that's a brief background about who I am. So back to you, Rosina.
Okay, welcome. Thank you so much. So what about you, Cik Firdaus?
Thank you very much, Rosina. My name is Firdaus. I'm a corporate trainer and I focus on creativity and innovation. And one of the things that I'm also interested is innovating in the context of entrepreneurship. So I'm very happy to be here and I want to learn more from you guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Dan juga Cik Zufar. Zufar ni memang selalu ada in this program lah. Tapi mungkin boleh perkenalkan sikit sebanyak tentang you punya business and who you are so that we know you a little bit.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Thank you, Cik Rosina. So, malam ni kita tukar topi sikit. Kita berada di other side of the room. Saya Zufar Adzahan, one of the co-founders untuk Khan Acoustics. Kita menjalankan khidmat kejuruteraan akustik untuk bangunan. So, kalau orang tanya buat apa, kita biasa cakap kita buat soundproofing lah, senang.
Yeah, so I am Rosina. I am a co-founder of CaraBetul. I'm also a co-founder of Matrix Research, which is a market research company, along with Pak Razak as well. And this company have been around for the last 18 years. Yeah, so that's a brief introduction of myself. Okay, so let's get the topic today. Yeah? So as we know, age in entrepreneurship is a topic which is actually very much research. Maybe not here, not that we have found any good research on this, but globally, specifically in the US, there are many studies that have been done. And why they do it is so that, you know, they can actually look at some policies in terms of funding and venture capitalists and things like that. So they do a lot of this. And it's also a topic which is much talked about and debated. And I'm sure here in Malaysia juga, we talk about it a lot. Yeah. So we would like to discuss on the topic so that we can get opinion from all our esteemed guests here. Yeah. Okay, so before we start, before we go any further, I just want to highlight some findings. There is a very interesting research that was done in 2018, and this was done by 4 researchers from MIT, Sloan, and Kellogg School. So this, and then they produced a paper which is called Age and High Growth Entrepreneurship. So we're not only talking about age in entrepreneurship, but age in relation to growth and success businesses. Yeah. So they made an extensive research. So the data that they got is daripada the US Census Bureau. So it's not that they do sampling or anything like that, but they actually got it from a US Census Bureau, which are from companies that registered with the Business Authority di sana. So they had about 2.7 million data points. Yeah, 2.7 million companies. They analyzed, and the primary findings that they got from this particular research is that successful entrepreneurs are middle-aged. They're not young. The median age is actually, they said that the mean founder age for the 1 in 1,000 fastest growing new ventures, yeah, is 45 years old. Out of that 2.7 million punya companies, so this is what they got. Fastest growing new ventures is 45 years old. Now, this is true in US. So do you think this is true in Malaysia? So perhaps we can get some thoughts on this. Anybody wants to start? Silakan.
Okay. In Malaysia, I think before we go there, can we clarify what kind of startups or entrepreneurs are we talking about? Because it might be different depending on different kind of entrepreneurs. Maybe maybe you have some something question regarding that.
Startup here, the startup that we're talking about is generic lah. People who start a business. So business could be any business. It could be from a tech business to restaurants or to salons and whatever types of businesses. So there's so we're talking about general startups lah.
Tapi kajian tu Cik Rozina, dia macam mana saya tak berapa nak dapat tangkap sangat. Adakah dia ukur progress dalam beberapa tahun pertama setelah company tu dilancarkan, ataupun macam mana? Adakah dia judge tu after like 10 years, something like that?
Okay.
You know?
The variables that says that they are successful ialah that the company, the punya sales or number of employees increase the most in the first 5 years. One is that the companies make it 5 years, but also they have the most increase of sales and also employees. So itu satu variable lah when they say successful. Lagi satu, a few other variables that they look as successful is that these companies, they exited the market either by getting acquired or going public to the IPO. These are the other variables that they look at as successful.
I see. So bermakna business yang dijalankan terus menerus, for example from generation to generation, it's not considered.
Yes.
Okay.
Betul. So yeah. So adakah you rasa that that this can be true in Malaysia from our observation or from the knowledge that we have?
Maybe I'd like to interject here a little bit. Soalan Firdaus, what type, the nature of the startup lah. What we have to understand is in US and also true in Malaysia, a very high percentage of new startups are actually either micro business or small business in terms of size lah. Now, whether they are high tech or low tech or whatever nature of business, what is most important is, I think US as high as 90% of US businesses are having 5 or less employees, and a high percentage of them are actually solopreneurs. That means those statistics mentioned by Rosina are mostly in reference to small or micro enterprises. Now, which, by the way, is the most important component of the entrepreneur ecosystem. They are the biggest employers. They actually make a big contribution to GDP. And these are the people, actually is the tiang seri lah, panggil kat sini, of the economy. Now, is it true in Malaysia? I personally, if you look at statistics that I've read recently, most businesses in Malaysia are micro, not even small, micro. Very few are average, medium size lah. So any statistics must take cognizance of that breakdown lah. Now, whether they are tech or non-tech, so I think that's also important. But what is more important is they are small. Okay, maybe Firdaus, you can respond to
or if I could chip in. In actual fact, when you talk about entrepreneurship, there are two types: the necessity-driven and the opportunity-driven. So necessity-driven entrepreneurs are pretty much doing it because they have to. They have no choice. They cannot get gainful employment, tak dapat kerja, so dia jadi usahawan. So they selalunya tidak mengaku mereka usahawan until dia tanya, ya actually sebenarnya saya ni memang usahawan sebab terpaksa cari duit untuk keluarga dan sebagainya. Then you would have the second type of entrepreneurs, which is opportunity seekers. And normally, especially nowadays, it's pretty much technology based lah, quite a bit technology based. They see an opportunity, they're driven to the opportunity. And typically from research, the one which are high growth are opportunity entrepreneurs because they are looking at the bigger picture. They're looking at how they can create and capture value quickly. So that itself would define the challenges that we have in Malaysia. Because in Malaysia, the tendency of we are more necessity driven. The majority is necessity driven. It's because terpaksa. Tak dapat kerja, jadi usahawan. Tak dapat, habis study, tak dapat job, jual tudung. I mean, I'm not degrading. I'm just saying that's the situation, the reality. So, and then again, add on with the government having all this program saying that we give you money to start a business. So it's pretty much necessity because they would say, one of the myth is that I need to, I can't start a business because I don't have any money. So then the government say, okay, let's give you some money, start a business. Failure rate will definitely be 90-95%. So, to add to what Firdaus was asking, if we look from an opportunity type of entrepreneur and you're looking at necessity, that would give a better picture of why we are sort of different compared kalau kita buat research dekat US, Europe, or even some Asian countries like Singapore and Japan, for example.
Saya ingatkan yang necessity driven ni yang macam, I need to make this, I need to be successful. Ingatkan yang tu yang lebih besar tekanan dia.
Tak, dia lebih kepada frankly, it's about surviving day to day. So their growth is more organic compared to opportunity seekers.
I see.
Okay.
Opportunity seekers ni macam tak cukup lah kot ya. Memang nak terus.
Dia macam look at the bigger pictures. How can I create value and make the money the fastest?
Ya, macam necessity driven ni macam sampai one stage, okay, aku dah ada cukup dah lah tu. Macam tu kot.
Cukup lah. Dah pergi universiti. So that actually would sort of give another color to the research that was mentioned. And definitely, yes, in Malaysia, we are, I would say 88% micro. And as mentioned, then there's no movement. We have around I believe 1 million plus registered business in Malaysia. If you check SSM, that's around the number. And the number is pretty stagnant from the micro. There's no actually movement from micro to small, medium, and large. That has been the situation, I believe, since Azali.
Puan Safura, would you like to share why do you have this kind of insight? Or would you like? Because I know, but the others might not know.
Yeah, I was in Scan 01, staff in Scan 01 when Institute Keusahawanan Negara was moved from MITI to Teraju. I was working with Teraju at that point of time. So one of the things that I did was to do a thorough research of the ecosystem in Malaysia. What are the challenges? Because one of the things, if you talk about policy, itself, we have been talking about ecosystem keusahawanan since before Merdeka, actually. In our first Malaysian plan, there was already mention about ecosystem keusahawanan. And again, it was very thorough. Actually, if you read Malaysian plan, it's beautiful, beautiful document, policy level, tip top for a small country which has just got independence. Is beautiful. The challenge is about the execution and the reality on the ground. So the thought process was pretty much, if you read the Malaysian plan, they're looking at market access, infrastructure, capital, and what's the other one? Training, development. So they just look at these 4 elements. So the challenge when I was with InScan, so we looked, again, digging in the research. And like Pak Razak was saying, we don't have enough research in Malaysia. It's true. It's very, very true. We're just copy pasting whatever that's out there and saying that's the truth for Malaysia. The context in Malaysia is so different. Just as I mentioned, when we're talking about opportunity seeking and necessity is already dah menunjukkan betapa bezanya kita bila kita bercakap mengenai penyelidikan keusahawanan di Malaysia. So yeah, I need to cut it short because I can speak a whole month about this. But just to share, so my background is pretty much that. I did a thorough research. We did labs about this on how what we need to do to actually make a difference. So yeah.
So extending on what Puan Safura said, our topic is what does age is a matter.
Yeah.
And I think when Puan Safura said something about the micro is not going up, even from my own experience, I see what's preventing from going up has nothing to do with age. Okay. At least I can say, maybe this is my hypothesis, they are not going up because of maybe things like mindset or knowledge, or they don't understand. Okay, we were talking about things about validating your idea and all that, but if they're not having the mindset willing to validate it or whatever reason, then they will not go to the next level lah. And I don't blame them, because sometimes when you are in a necessity survival mindset, you don't have the luxury to think further than that. Yeah. So I mean, let's continue with the discussion about age, but at least we know that entrepreneurs have a different perspective, and rather than focusing on one, maybe we can look from different perspective so that we can have a better understanding of the issue that we're having.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, I nak menyamput sikit.
Yeah.
That issue is one thing. You having the necessity thing is one issue, and it's not being helped by the policy like Pak Razak was talking about. We're spending money on people who are not ready. I totally agree with that. Because the risk of failure is very high. So my point of view, if you're going to start young, you have to start with what you have. You shouldn't be giving them things that they are not ready for. They should learn to start with what they have. Learn, going through it, start small with whatever you sanggup tanggung lah, and focus on...
I started with RM10.
What? RM10, yes. And then look at the age which macam, you've got there's some truth in it. If I could say, for example, if we take an example of Steve Jobs, I mean, this is the things that they say, Steve Jobs, Facebook founder, their age is young. Their age is young, but they don't realize who's backing them. Who are the people who are backing these young entrepreneurs? They are actually more senior, more experienced entrepreneurs or professionals behind them who decide to back up these young entrepreneurs.
Do we have that in Malaysia?
We hardly have that. We tend to say, I buat kerja I, you buat you punya.
Cik Razak boleh backup saya, Cik Razak. Saya
gini ya.
Orang macam
I have to come back to Firdaus' comment on mindset. When you talk about mindset is not static. Dia berubah-ubah as you expose yourself to more experience and you actually develop new belief system that comes with age. Of course, what I believe at the age 21, what I believe at the age of 70 is very different. Because that's why my mindset changed. Now, that have a big influence on how I think and how I behave. That's why age matters. When you have a mindset that's not fully, what I would call fully developed because your exposure is limited. Bukan makna kata orang muda ni cacat ke, tak ada. Because their exposure is limited, so their mindset not fully developed. Their belief system is quite narrow lah. They tend to behave in a certain way. Now, what is important here is what are the characteristics of a successful founder. A successful founder have certain behavior pattern. And this behavior pattern, normally you can only be able to acquire it when you have a certain mindset. And that comes with certain age. That's where the age have a big, have some influence lah. Bukan age tu yang paling penting. Yang penting tu, what are your mindset and your behavior pattern. Only at a certain age, from my own personal experience, except for some exceptional ones lah, like the Nobel Prize winner, what Afghanistan or Pakistan girl, the Malala. At a very young age, she think and talk and behave like a 60-year-old leader. But for ordinary people like most of us, we tend to only able, or we only achieve those desired behavior pattern and belief system of a successful entrepreneur after a certain age. And that's why age to me have a different life. So regardless of whether micro business ke, high growth ke, low growth ke, I personally have been engaging a lot of micro business for a long time because I was a micro business. I dulu jual, dulu dia tak panggil pasar malam, dulu dia panggil pasar minggu. Kampung Baru tu dia panggil pasar minggu. My first business dulu jual bedak siam. How macro can you get? At the age of what, 14, 15 with my brother. It's a question of your beliefs. I have a lot of friends yang masih lagi ada menjual di pasar coket. Dulu pun macam tu, sekarang pun macam tu, kemudian pun macam tu juga. You know why? He don't believe he can be bigger. He don't believe he deserves to be bigger. This is his biggest enemy. Now, of course, people like me try to help him, man. Tapi this kind of limitation is something that need a little bit more attention lah. This is where apa dipanggil paradigm shift, minda, perubahan minda is very important. But age is only important because at a certain age you will have those characteristics that is useful and important to be a good entrepreneur. That's where I'm coming from. Rosina, you were trying to say something just now.
I just want to welcome Cik Hamid. Cik Hamid is our regular viewer. He followed. So he has joined us today. So Syamil, as you can see, kita ada panelist hari ini. So hari ini kita akan just berbincang lah and of the topic, does age matter in starting a business? Yeah, so I think what we have gotten here is that age as itself is not a standalone punya criteria in starting a business or even having a successful business, but how does it correlate or does it link into the characteristic of being a successful entrepreneur? Yeah, so like apa Puan Safura cakap pasal all this micro yang stuck in micro kan, and you know, the how do we nurture them so that they can go to the next level. Yeah. So yeah, so this is some of the things that we can discuss about lah. So yeah, so we're talking about, but let's look at age again. Yeah, I mean if we what are the advantages? Of younger people starting a business? And what are the advantages that they can make it, if you want to look at that lah, and what are the disadvantages that they have that can prevent them from making it? What do you think are the factors?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna jump in because I always have so many things to talk about. Just to cite a few examples, you know, starting young. Pak Razak started when he was 14. I actually started when I was standard 1. And it was an opportunity. I discovered that when I brought belimbing from my house to school, because my parents didn't give pocket money, no pocket money, bekal daripada rumah saja. And there was extra belimbing dekat my house, and my mom said, you know, bring it to school. So I brought it to school, and my mom kata macam korang nak bagi sedekah lah. Unfortunately, anak dara dia ni lain sikit macam. So people would say, oh sedapnya manis. How much? I said 20 sen. So that started my entrepreneurial, you know, the start of it. You know, dapat 20 sen, dapatlah beli jajan. So from there itself, it created an interest for me to learn about entrepreneurship, and I've been doing a lot of businesses and studying about it. So to me, again, if you talk about age, what is the benefit? They learn to manage risk. They learn to menghadapi kegagalan. And with the support, you know, that the most important part is the support. If they have the support of failure, of failing, and the ability to reflect the failure, then they are able to learn from the experience. The ones that don't are the ones who, you know, give up and say, malah lah, penat lah, you know, abah bagi duit. They don't have that support, then it's a con for them. What about those who are older, you know, those who have worked for some time and decide to start a business? What are the plus? The plus is that they have the experience, they have the network. You know, when I'm talking about experience, I'm talking about the industry experience, and they have the network. But what is the negative part is that they used to work in a structured scenario or structured organization, and they expect it's okay, somebody is going to take care of this. Nobody is going to take care for it. You know, like they don't know how to use the computer or write a letter or do a PowerPoint, a pitch. They're just waiting for somebody. It's not going to happen. So to me, you know, and this is what we should look into. How do we combine these two strengths?
Right. Okay.
Those, who are young and have the energy and the willingness to learn, with those who are experienced and have the network. So how can we create an ecosystem, a policy or a program that does matching in this way, so that they are opportunity seekers rather than necessity driven? So that's my hypothesis that I put to you. Okay,
so your opinion is that we are So don't think about age, but look at how, doesn't matter whether they're young or old, what do they have in them, and what kind of gaps do they have that we can bridge.
Exactly.
Policies that can be getting, and what kind of training, what kind of things, you know, that can bridge on this, on all these things, young the gap that they have. Yeah, so it doesn't matter whether they are younger or older. That's where you're coming from.
Yes, yes.
I just want to say a quick hello juga kepada Rafi Ansari, is it? Rafi Ansari daripada Singapore, who came in and joined us at FB. Thank you so much for coming here. And I hope, you know, you can again knowledge from here. And if kalau ada apa-apa soalan, silakan please put it in the comment so that we can answer your questions. Okay.
Rafi tu business coach juga, so dia pun ada experience juga. I think
okay, good.
I think he's somehow related, quite mengetahui pasal the Singaporean version of InScan. Although not part of it, but I think he have some experience. But never mind lah, nanti kita boleh cakap dengan dia sendiri. But thank you for coming, Mr. Rafi, and then back to you, Razina.
Okay, so Zufar, what do you think? What do you have any input to all this? Anything that you can nak tambah ke ataupun nak disagree ke dengan Puan Safura?
I can't really disagree because I don't know about others. I just know my own journey. Kan?
Okay, maybe you can share your own journey a little bit. Yeah, please.
Yes, sebab journey orang lain tu biasanya dengan yang best je. I don't know what happened masa dia tak best. So kan, so, kalau macam saya ni, I just want to share lah, maybe ada, you know, ideas or whatever. Saya start 29. Sebelum 29 tu saya tak pernah tahu pasal entrepreneurship. Nobody in the family is an entrepreneur. Semua orang kerja government. Ada sikit-sikit pun yang corporate, tapi yang besarnya di government. So saya membesar di dalam persekitaran tu. So bila saya masuk dalam industri, dalam syarikat swasta, saya buat sales. So saya jual barang-barang yang premium. Saya jual barang-barang akustik. Orang yang ada duit terlebih je yang akan beli barang akustik ni. Biasanya lah. So I started to meet with you know, orang-orang kayangan lah orang kata. So bila kita tengok tu, alamak, seronok lah dari jadi depa ni. So kita mula korek kan. So most of them, kalau klien saya yang individual, memang orang-orang hebat lah kan, sebab mereka ada satu luxury untuk beli barang-barang hobi untuk akustik ni, buat home theater lah apa benda kan. So daripada situ baru saya start terdedah dengan orang kata perniagaan ni. Saya tak pernah pun apa orang kata disuruh untuk berniaga ke, tak pernah. Cumanya selama ni daripada kecil dah main music, tak perasan pun sebenarnya tu one sejenis perniagaan lah, walaupun freelancing kan. So bila dah tahu pasal entrepreneurship tu, ada pula yang suruh kita pergi satu program motivasi bisnes Rara ni, kita pun berapi lah. So kita tengok bos kita, founder tu, dia bos lama saya, dia kata dia start umur 29, saya pun macam tak ada kalah. 29 kena start juga. So itu je di mana yang saya start kan. Tapi saya cuba justify lah masa tu kenapa kita nak kena start sekarang. So saya cakap dengan saya punya kawan-kawan yang akhirnya menjadi business partners, kalau kita nak start, kita start sekarang. Kalau kita terduduk masa tengah tak ada komitmen sangat. Kan, tapi alhamdulillah I'm now 36. So 7 years had gone by. Dan dengan seronoknya pergi ke office lah untuk meneruskan journey ni. Coming back to the age tu, like I said, I tak ada comment. I just know what happened to my life. But these 7 years had been really inspiring. Had been really inspiring 7 years, and I look forward to more years to come lah. Thank you for the thumbs up for Safura. So itulah kot pandangan saya, Cik Rizna. Memang
Okay.
menyeronokkan lah. It's a roller coaster but it's really fun.
Okay, thank you, Zufar. So I also say hello to Jamie. Jamie is also our regular viewer. She just joined in. So please, again, if you have any questions ke comments,
Cik
silakan.
Rizna, mungkin nak tambah sikit lah.
Boleh,
Saya
silakan.
tak tahulah sangat pasal sebenarnya di Malaysia ni macam mana. Tapi kawan-kawan saya yang seumur lah, yang mula dengan mula pun dalam 20-an, sama ada awal 20-an ataupun pertengahan 20-an, saya boleh kata sikit sangat lah yang give up. Kebanyakannya masih sama ada
masih
dia
meneruskan.
Yes, sama ada dia kaya raya ke apa, wallahu alam, I don't know, but they are still doing it.
Masih
Regardless
berjuang
of,
lah.
yes, and I think, you know, to me lah personally, that's the definition of success lah. You are enjoying the journey. You are going through it like, daripada dalam kita nak buat kan, ada sesuatu yang kita perjuangkan. So money tu is just one matrix lah, so to say kan. Pendapat saya lah.
Thank you so much, Zufar. Now, Firdaus, you have been quiet kan? Mungkin ada dapat idea-idea, and we also know that you made a quick poll kan? Mungkin you boleh, you can share with us a little bit and maybe get some insights from there.
Alamak, okay. Okay, sekejap. I need to find the link.
Okay,
Okay.
sementara Tuan Firdaus mencari poll dia. Just, So yeah, super interesting for the sharing, Zufar. Definitely, once you get the bug of jadi usahawan, the definisi of kegagalan, definisi of kegagalan sebenarnya, kalau kita look at policy level, is actually you tukar haluan business you is considered kegagalan. Okay, if you look from a financial institute punya point of view, if you take a loan and the purpose of the loan is for certain benda, and then you tukar you punya hala tuju business you, that loan is actually default. Okay, so that's where the challenge is. What is the definition of failure? Is it because your business closed down, you failed? But to me, again, I totally agree with you. It doesn't mean that kalau you close down your business you fail. Maybe it's because keadaan tak sesuai. There's no real depth of research done, and people tak nak, because partly people tak nak be honest about kenapa dia tukar dia punya hala tuju, tutup business dia.
Okay.
Yeah, so
semestinya gagal lah.
Yeah, so definisi of gagal, because sometimes they just it doesn't work. The business model doesn't work, the market segment is not profitable, that they need to pivot. So the pivot tu sebenarnya is not a kegagalan, tapi dari policy level they would consider it as failure, So
satu lagi, Puan Safura, satu lagi, apa nama ni, mungkin kita banyak dengar kan government bagi tu, bagi ni, bagi macam-macam lah bantuan dekat peniaga, usahawan muda and so on kan. Tapi saya punya case lah, saya tak tahu pasal benda-benda ni. I was in the engineering line. Saya kerja kat kilang about one year plus, and then I was in sales for about 4 years. Saya tak tahu pun ada peluang-peluang yang macam ni. Saya tahu Dr. AO tu je kan yang buat program tu, saya pergi. Kan. Nak ceritanya, saya saja nak share lah. Saya tak ada apa-apa, tak ada siapa pun yang suntik apa-apa. So I was being honest with my early customers, yang kami ni startup baru yang tak ada apa, kami baru je bertapak. Saya just nak share lah sebab ni kenangan saya. Saya buat terma bayaran kepada pada saya punya klien tu, saya panggil Scheme Contractor Miskin, SKM. So di Scheme Contractor Miskin, I cakap dengan klien, saya jujur je, apa saja yang saya spend, tuan bayar back to back with my margin. I was transparent about how many percent I wanted to make. So they were kind of macam, okay, you are not hiding anything. Okay, you buat, I bayar. You buat, I bayar. Sampailah hari ni dapatlah kan. Dia buat projek-projek yang lebih besar. So boleh je lah sebenarnya nak launch the thing, you know, without all this. Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome because you've got clarity of your thought, your process. You know how you're going to create value and how you're going to capture it and how you use your stakeholder management. Because a lot of people don't understand that correlation, you know, the relationship antara, what do you call it, you punya business, what is it, the value that you want to create with how you capture it. Dia tak ada that correlation. They tend to think it's different things.
Because they have product mindset, which is basically jual produk dapat duit. Itu saja.
Yes,
which is a
betul.
very
Transactional.
Very shallow lah, very shallow.
Okay, Firdaus, have you found your poll?
Yes, I have.
I'm excited to hear about it.
Okay, before that, Firdaus, there is a question from Rafi Ansari. He said that there is a difference between selling and managing a business. A young child is basically selling. An adult at a corporate level is managing, which includes managing people. In this case, age and experience plays a part. So, what are your opinions? Do you have an opinion, or Firdaus, or when anybody who has an opinion on this?
Okay, I think that is very, it's very accurate lah. Okay, so there's a book called Innovators DNA by Dr. Jeff Dyer, if I'm not mistaken. So dia kaji like the most innovative companies in the world. Dan diperhatikan, all these companies actually there's two type people. People who are very good at delivery, maksudnya buat kerja, and the people who are the innovative, the thinkers one. So what it's trying to say is that all these good companies, they need to have both. And usually the people who are good at the delivery part is yang dikatakan the managing the people side lah. And of course you need the innovators juga. So in a way kalau you tengok cerita, kan ada cerita Silicon Valley kan, kita tengok cerita komedi tu kan. So there's a group of people yang macam okay, idea geliga dan sebagainya. But just because you have an idea doesn't mean you can execute well. This is where the delivery test memainkan peranan. And of course, like macam Mr. Rafi cakap, when you want to execute something, you most likely have to have a team. When you have a team, you have to manage the team. And then when you have to manage the team and then leadership, management, scan, and whatnot.
So that one, so that's where the age comes in. So that's where the difference is, because age, leadership and all that, your competency actually comes from the experience, and age plays a part in here lah.
Correct.
Rafi, so I hope we have given our opinion on this. Thank you so much. Okay, so Firdaus, if you want to share with us.
Okay, is it on the screen? Can you see already? Age matter when starting business, agree. So 155 orang, 155 people say disagree. Okay. Disagree. But hanya 2 orang saja yang kata very disagree. Okay. Agree 34, neutral 21, and somewhat agreeable is 2 votes. Siapa yang tambah lagi satu ya? Okay. But I want to share with you the comments. Okay. Okay. Let's say dia kata blah blah blah. Maturity is about understanding value is the most important, and that is normally associated with age. So I think apa yang nak katakan adalah it's not about age, it's about maturity. It's about wisdom. But wisdom tak semestinya with age. Most of the time, majority of the time, the more age you have, the more wisdom you have, the more maturity you have. But there are some people who masa muda pun dia dah ada benda tu. Okay? Okay, this is why kalau knowing Bazi also matters. Okay, but Bazi, I don't know, but I think it's like a destiny kind of thing in Chinese punya feng shui or something like that.
I see. Okay.
Kita boleh lompat benda tu. Okay. Again, interesting. Maturity and readiness doesn't matter the age, but age plays a big factor. So, age membantu knowledge, experience, emotional, hormonal, so semua ni dia akan membantu dari segi maturity and readiness. Selalunya age memainkan peranan yang besar. Okay. Dia kata age does not, daripada Puan Jasmisa, but some experience and mentorship can help the probability of success. Exactly. So tadi saya dah cakap something about management skills, knowing the experience dealing with people. You can wait for 20 years to learn all that leadership and people management skills, or you can be trained. Okay? I'm not saying this because I'm a corporate trainer, but if I would think that if everyone really understood the importance of soft skills, communicating and leadership and all that, coaching people, mentoring people, all those things are the technical aspect of it. If you learn it, instead of waiting 20 years, you can learn it in, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 years. Okay, so at least the basics of it lah. Okay, now learn the real wisdom mungkin ambil beberapa tahun lah. Okay, next, I know someone who started his first business at 88 and retired at 95. Oh, okay, siapa ke orangnya? Adakah ini Colonel Sanders KFC? Saya pun tak pasti. But at least the story, the mythology is Colonel Sanders umur dia macam agak berumur, and then dia mulakan dia punya KFC business sampai lah sekarang. Okay, this is interesting. Age doesn't matter, but energy level, yes. But I think for Safura ada mention sikit tadi, kalau macam mana nak collaborate with orang yang energy tinggi tapi ilmu rendah, dan orang yang energy rendah tapi ilmu dia tinggi. Okay?
Right.
Energy cannot substitute knowledge. Okay, interesting. Unfortunately, business no longer survive purely on working hard. Agaknya apa dia kata tu? Okay, I mean I think I tak sempat nak baca semua, but I think even in today's world sometimes working smart, kalau if you don't work smart, you will be out-competed by somebody who can work smart by using technology. So that's maybe my interpretation lah. Okay, Chris, dia cakap situational. When your company is underperforming or losing money, board meeting start asking CEO, is it young, less experienced, too old ke apa ke? Both are valid questions from your company is on done wide. So basically I think nak kata kalau your business is losing money, dua-dua kena hantam lah. Martin, age does not necessarily equal experience. Menarik tu. Okay. There are some people maybe you might know yang mungkin dalam tempat kerja, dia walaupun ada ilmu yang usia yang lanjut, tapi ilmu dia mungkin tak banyak sangat. Maybe because dia sengaja tak nak menimbul lebih ilmu, ataupun dia suka tempat yang selamat. I don't know. But maybe this is what Martin yang cuba sebut lah. Age is just a number as long you're willing to learn and keep learning. Knowledge is power. Okay, that's menarik. Because I think we mentioned earlier something about mindset tadi kan, about learning. Kalau orang tu tak open to learning, sama juga kan. And I believe that being open to learning accelerate your growth process. Sebab kalau you tak tahu, you tak boleh execute. Things like that. So this is my poll from today. Hopefully it's beneficial for our discussion going forward lah. Thank you.
So what I can gather here mostly lah yang people disagree that age doesn't matter. What is important is how people are prepared for it. Okay, kita dah nak masa
menceburi kita.
Tapi kita ada satu lagi soalan daripada Cik Rafi. Okay, one more question. Dia kata, for startups, would it be advisable for young people rather than those above 40s? Again, due to the risk involved, would you advise this to launch a startup? Risk for a young adult is not the same at 40s, married with family. Anybody?
Okay, for me personally, I think it's depending on the context. Anybody who wants to do a startup, you actually have to ukur baju pada badan sendiri. How much risk are you willing to take?
Yeah.
How much risk are you willing to take? How much risk are you able to handle? What are so you have to do scenario planning. If benda to fail, how much is that pivoting or changing or whatever that will impact you. So definitely if you have commitments, your context will be slightly different.
Sure.
So that's why for me, again, my encouragement is always to work as a team. To have, if you're young, you work together with somebody who's experienced and has the network. If you are somebody who's experienced and has the network, find somebody young who shares the same value. They might have different capabilities, but shares the same value and have, macam nak kahwin kan, you have to have your prenup.
It's compatible lah.
Compatible kan, you tak boleh just simply like try. And definitely don't think because they're family or their friend that's the best match. It's not. And I just want to add to what Firdaus had to say from the poll. We're talking about age. Age doesn't matter. Definitely, I agree. What's most important and a skill that a lot of entrepreneurs need to acquire is trend spotting. Trend spotting, meaning being able to look at the trend of what's happening, the changing scenario, demographic, things that's happening around you, how could you get an opportunity from that? If you are a transporter, you've got the skill of transporting, you would be able to be an opportunity seeker that would be able to create and capture value. So that a skill set that not a lot of, I think even people who are teaching entrepreneurship talks about, you know, because again, you want to be on the, you know, understanding the trend, understanding the changing market and things like that. So you'll be able to capture that value.
Ongoing research lah, ongoing
validating,
getting the knowledge of the current happening, current situation.
So it definitely is still relevant, because when you're talking about an organization, and it was already mentioned, I believe, by Firdaus, you've got two elements. You've got the exploit and you've got the explore. So people who are good at management, they would do the exploiting. You know, and this is from the Invincible book, Invincible Company by Alexander Oswalder. He spoke about this in length. So you've got the people, you know, you've got your cash cow. Why do you want to give up your cash cow? You manage it well. But at the same time, you need people who are able to exploit. Looking at the trend, looking at, so these are for larger organization. But if you, even if you're small, you actually want to be on spot with the trend. You know?
Okay.
So that's my final word for tonight.
Thank you so much. Okay, kita punya masa dah lebih 2 minit. So if you don't mind, kita just have a little bit, a few more minutes, yeah. Just to have a roundup from everybody. Just to wrap things up, kalau for final words, ya mungkin kita start dengan Pak Razak. What are your final words on this before kita wrap up the session?
Okay, number one, I find this discussion very interesting. I think I have to admit that we do share a lot of similar thoughts now. It's just that we express it differently. My final take on this, based on my personal experience, also from observation and a little bit of reading, at the end of the day, is finding the right way. Itu sesuai kami, kita namakan cara betul. The age too important, but even if you are at the right age, even if you are at the wrong age, even if you are high tech, low tech, whatever tech lah, is there a right way to start a business? Now, what I find most disturbing to me is there's a lot of fake gurus out there. There's a lot of fake authors, business writers that seem to know that people are looking for this solution and put up their solution and dress it up in a manner that give people confidence. All right? And that's been my mission for the last 10 years, actually, because I started my full-time entrepreneur journey with a big bang failure. Big bang failure, I'll be honest. Nearly wiped me. But the interest was there and I was most intrigued. What is the right way to start a business? And this is where I'm an angry old man, let's put it this way. I'm an angry old man born in September. Banyak sangat penipuan kat luar tu. People that don't have real valid evidence, selling ke, macam I dulu jual bedak siam kat pasar minggu. Kak beli bedak siam ni kak, bedak siam ni nanti kakak cantik macam orang siam. Dia pakai sebulan garanti kulit dia jadi purple. So next month I won't be there anymore. Kakak tu akan cari I. Pasal banyak mercury. Bedak siam dulu banyak mercury. It reminded me of those days when I was a street hustler. I sebenarnya was a salesman, so I was a street hustler. I think it's time that we have to be willing to challenge what I would call conventional wisdom. Be willing to challenge what everybody think is the right way. Like what you say, pivoting means failure. What bullshit is that? How can you say that everything is a failure? That is the best thing that guy have ever done. And that would lead to maybe a real success. Yeah? And then simply dismissing age, whether young or old, as not the right age. No, the right way is to find cara betul. And this is where you have to go through this. Is like peeling an onion. You pull out the sleeves until you find what is the real thing. Now, in doing so, this is where the angry old man appear. You kena ajar sikit. And that's what I've been doing. Because I've gaduh dengan Iskan. I challenge Iskan in a way. Because I told, look, your success rate is bad. No matter how you say it, it's bad. And this is something that I think is need to be reviewed lah. That's why I'm not invited anymore to all these seminar. And the last time I pergi Lumut, lepas tu dah tak nak orang tu lagi lah.
Ada disclaimer tu.
Honest to goodness, if we don't challenge this, what I would think dongeng kesawanan ni, sampai bila kita akan tak dapat jalan yang betul tu? The cara betul tu, we have to, the terminology that we use, kita ni kerja kita sekarang menghasut orang to challenge conventional, the traditional, the normal way, the popular way. Asut dia, lepas kita asuh dia. Asut, kita asuh. Because this is something that I think is so important that it cannot be ignored. Although I'm already 70 plus, I cannot just say, ni bukan kerja aku lagi dah. Because I've seen so many dreams dash, so many hopes dash, so many money, millions wasted, and so many potential not fully realized. Because dia di dongeng-dongengkannya, dibaginya gula-gula. Tapi dia tak ada kederat. Diri dia sendiri tu tak ada kederat untuk melawan arus. And this is what I hope to do, to get a group of maybe a mix of old, macam Cik Ahmed is slightly younger than me je. And the younger one like Zufar, we put our heads together and we share our experiences. We have an open mind. We learn and we develop a new path. Malaysia don't have to follow the West 100%. We don't have to follow what the professors say 100%. We don't have to read the books and follow it like a template. We can find our own way. But to do that, kita kena kurang ajar sikit lah. Kita kena jadi jebat sikit lah. And this is what I hope this type of activities will evolve lah.
Okay,
that's my last one.
Zufar, any last word?
Okay, boleh lain sikit ya. Saya rasa kalau orang yang tengok ni tertanya-tanya bila nak start, waktu muda ke waktu tua ke, I think betul lah tu, rasanya better fikir benda lain yang lebih ada priority. Saya punya pendapat, kalau siapa yang nak memulakan, apa kata test dulu buat part time business tu, tengok whether you can handle that or not kan. Sebab saya ni, saya rasa saya nasib baik je saya dapat bertahan ni. Mungkinlah banyak Allah tolong ke apa benda semua kan, so kita dapat sampai ke sini. Tapi takut-takut kalau orang yang terjun terus ni, whether you can hati tu cukup keras ke tidak nak menempuh all this. Kadang-kadang bukan sebab duit sangat kan, sebab orang, sebab sebab kawan and so on. Itu satu. Lepas tu saya nak share juga last kali, saya rasa perjalanan entrepreneurship ni adalah satu perjalanan yang susah nak jumpa di tempat lain, menjadikan kita sangat humble oleh cabaran-cabaran yang kita hadapi. Dan pada pendapat saya, kalau kita fokus untuk melakukan kebaikan dan memberikan nilai kepada masyarakat, dan kita sentiasa pastikan perspektif kita di sudut yang betul, I think datanglah apa cabaran pun, we can go through this.
InsyaAllah. Okay, terima kasih Zufar. Firdaus, just last word before we wrap up.
Correlation does not mean causation.
Okay.
Maksudnya kalau kita nampak age correlate with success as entrepreneurs, doesn't mean age is the cause. We need to find out what is the real causation, mungkin wisdom, mungkin mindset dan sebagainya.
Okay.
So we must not make that very simple mistake in statistic. Number two, I would like to expand Zufan punya pendapat tadi. Buat Pakatan dulu, I agree. Kalau you start business, kalau saya boleh beritahu diri saya, nasihat usaha start mula, masuk dalam industri, kerja dalam industri di mana you nak buat startup tu. Kalau saya nak masuk industri fashion, henti kerja saya dulu, kerjalah full time dekat industri fashion, learn the in and outs and the unwritten rules of the industry. Barulah you tahu sama ada you boleh lompat ke tidak ke dalam dunia fashion sebagai seorang usahawan. Itu sajalah.
Okay. So thank you so much.
Safura want to say something?
Safura,
just a quick one. One thing sebagai usahawan, and I think Zufar has shown this very well. You have to know what works for you. What's the best way that works for you. So usahawan sendiri jangan mengharap orang luar untuk memberi jawapan. Kita sebagai usahawan, kita kena guna our CPU ni, our brain to actually analyze, reflect and adapt. Macam Pak was talking about, kita tak boleh copy paste. Kalau kita copy paste daripada Malaysian plan pertama hari itu, kita dah jadi macam Korea. Kan? Because Korea copied our Razak plan.
Yes.
They made it into the Big Brother program.
Yes.
So kalau kita betul-betul guna CPU kita dah jadi Korea. Okay? Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Macam ni lah, ini orang tua cakap lah, kita susah cerita dengan orang lah. Apa kita boleh buat. Don't blame people what we can do. And this is something that we have to take ownership lah. But there's advantage of age. Macam tua macam saya ni, saya tak kisah apa orang cakap kat saya. Those days are over. I only believe in doing the right thing saja. That's all. At this age, you want to do the right thing. And this is important. Young people should learn how to think like old men. Susah kisah sangat apa orang cakap ni. Just find the right things, the right way to do it. That should be the drive lah. Okay. Now, ada kawan lain, Cik Ahmed ada nak point, nak cakap, dia tak boleh cakap kan?
Boleh. Boleh.
I would love to hear somebody been observing us to have something to say. Dia ni entrepreneur juga, tapi pada Dubai Cik Ahmed?
I worked in Saudi before, but now back in Malaysia for good. Just to comment, okay, I think I agree that it doesn't matter whether you start your business at a young or old age. Of course, experience is very important, but due to the rapid changes that taking place, how can you depend on your experience alone? Okay, because now with the thing that changing very fast, your experience that you have maybe become obsolete at no time. So that's number one. So the business should be driven dengan cara betul, as Pak Razak say. I agree with this. But I think one more important thing is that you must have a strong vision. Like Steve Jobs. When he started the business, he wants to achieve one home, one computer. That is the slogan that he has. Right? So I think with this kind of simple vision, that is doable, can be realized in the near future. I think that will sustain your presence in the business environment. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Right,
okay, thank you, Chame. Very good. Okay, so to me, my take up is that age only matters only if it allows us to gain all this experience, characteristic, wisdom and all that, so that we can make it. The odds of us making it is better. That is my take from all this lah. Okay then, dah pukul 10:04. So this is very interesting. I'm sure we can talk more about this. Inshallah, we can have another session later on to discuss on this and also on other topics as well. So terima kasih banyak-banyak. Firdaus, Zufar, Pak Razak, juga Encik Hamid who's dan juga semua penonton yang di FB dan juga di YouTube sekarang ni. Thank you so much for being with us And siapa-siapa yang miss tu boleh tengok balik recording di FB kita, insyaAllah. And yeah, so if there's anything that minta maaf kalau ada apa-apa yang tersilap ke. And insyaAllah we see each other again. Thank you so much.